All right, and here we are out here at the first practice of spring 2022. And of course, this practice report, which is, we're happy to say, is brought to you by the Bart Smokey investment team right up there in Alexandria. Going to talk a little bit more about him a little bit on this video. Absolutely, Buddy. I said it on our show last night that I was wondering what the tone of the practice was going to be, and I swear to God, it was a throwback to the early 2000s Saban. In fact, the sense of urgency was more today than we saw at some of those Saban practices. They were yelling, Frank Wilson, Joe Sloan, they were getting after the guys, and everything was on time. They weren't putting up with anything, sandbagging guys not being where they were supposed to be. And I think one of the things that we saw, of course, we're all lined up, we get in the fence, and we see quarterbacks is the first thing we see. And I think from what I saw today, and we were shocked that Walker Howard actually threw today, I think he had the best zip on the ball, the most velocity of all the quarterbacks.
Yeah, once again, we hope all of you enjoy these reports. Very windy out here, Mike, as you alluded to. You know, when the guy that had the S in his last name, Saban, no walking, a lot of attention to detail, a lot of a fast pace. We'll give you tidbits and details. Give us a couple days to get all of the personnel. I look mostly at offense. We'll interact throughout the year with these practice reports.
It was like they had so much they need again. It's like they were trying to sandwich in a spring and a fall camp. Like they know that they've got to get as much installed and as much done in these allotted practices for spring football than ever before. And they looked well prepared, like a well-oiled machine. I mean, Frank Wilson was getting after his running backs. You're going to see that on some of the tape that you see coming out of practice. A lot of the tape, though, is embargoed. In fact, while we usually do these live, today we're actually recording them because we're not allowed to upload camp video and photos and talk about what we've seen until practice is fully over. But I like what I saw. I think a lot of the guys looked in shape, and I thought John Emery in particular looked pretty good.
I'm glad. Perfect segue. We talk about the running backs. John Emery getting the first reps. Solid 215. Mike, he looks big. He looks cut. He looks focused. And he looked confident out there. Of course, as we know, Corey Kiner, I think they tried to get him to lose 3 or 4 pounds. Looked good and trim. Obviously, Armani Goodwin, didn't see much of him last year because of injuries. He's ready to go. Josh Williams. But Trey Bradford, I don't know if you noticed this, wearing 26, came back from the ecstasy to Oklahoma back here. 200 pounds now. You know he's got the speed, can catch the ball at the backfield. Running back is not going to be a problem this year, especially if Emery has a great senior season.
I'm still thinking about, I'm a bit in awe about the attention to detail. Just some of the behind the scenes stuff. Yesterday when we were here for Brian Kelly's press conference, no, let me back up. I'll back up to Sunday. They send out to us an email saying we got to fill out, if we're coming to practices, affiliation, name, etc. We arrived today. They have us all lanyards, which we have to wear at every practice. They printed out maps of where we need to park. Of course, the parking is the same as it's always been. But just every little detail, you could. I mean, and I have a feeling that Kelly is on top of all that. He wants everything. Like the maps they sent us of where to park were in color. They were printed out in color yesterday. Like, you didn't need to do that. It could have been in black and white. But I think that just shows. But today, I go back again. I think that what we saw as far as, the 4 periods that we were allotted, they had it scripted down to the second where they were to be. And they probably did walkthroughs with the players beforehand. And I'm listening to the quarterbacks talk about where they're supposed to be. And they knew before the practice started of how it was going to roll.
By the way, quick depth chart on the offensive line. Charles Turner, 69 at center. Of course, 58, wanting to see finally what Cardell Thomas can do. This is a big year for him. Marcus Lattimore at the right tackle, Thomas at right guard, Tremont Sharts, the grad transfer from East Tennessee State, at left guard, Cam Wire, your first tackle, at left tackle, Miles Frazier, the new signee that they brought in from Florida International, second team right tackle, but this is all very early. We will talk about the trenches, and we'll get better looks and eyes on the defense. They were a little far from us today.
Yeah, I made it to the backside of where the defense was, defensive back drills and some linebackers, and I'm going to have that in our video package. I need to go upload all that and to really see what I was looking at because of the light. Because you can see as we're squinting in the light right now, I'm looking through my viewfinder. But I'm gonna really go back and study what we saw on that side of the ball. I was shooting defensive linemen from 60 yards away with my zoom lens, but I think I got a whole lot of good footage to disseminate and to break down. But I think overall, and it's something else that I picked up today, is the strength and conditioning program. The guys have really grabbed onto it. They're very excited about the new strength and conditioning program, the new coach, and I think one of the things the thing that Kelly does is everything that they do revolves around strength and conditioning. That is the hub of everything that they do in the program. So there's a new emphasis on it, and I think even more so than when Tommy Moffitt was here.
Yeah, some of the numbers I picked up, of course, Greg Brooks and Joe Fouché, two transfers over from Arkansas, wearing 12 and 13 respectively. Did see Derek Davis Jr. out there. This is another guy that has to prove what he's going to be part of this team. Obviously, two big corners, 24 and 22, folks. You heard Brian Kelly extolling both of their virtues. You got a guy that started in the Big 12 4 years, and obviously Mickey Wingo from Lafayette. Both of those guys 6'2" and over 200. LSU's got some big corners right now to start spring.
Well, this TigerBait.com practice report is brought to you by the Smoky Investment Team. Over 45 years of combined experience in handling their clients' financial needs. In this financial environment, experience needs, and there's no doubt about it, Bart Smoky and his group in Alexandria are the guys that you need to talk to. Call Bart or Brian Smoky at 318-448-3201. That's 318-448-3201. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA/SIPC, right there in Alexandria. Bart Smoky, big LSU fan, and of course he's going to bring these practice reports to you guys each and every day that we're out here, and big thanks to them. And so on TigerBait.com, we're going to have photo galleries. I've got a full video package to render up that'll be up on the site this evening. As well as we're going to get Coach Kelly. We were just told when we walked out he's actually going to be earlier tonight. I think we're going to get him around 6:30. So we're going to be well into the evening loading up the site with all the information you need as far as the first practice. And then we'll be back out here on Saturday morning, guessing probably around 10:30, 11. But we're going to see how that plays out.
Last little tidbit, Jack Best, you're going to love him. Slip screens. He's a wide receiver this year. They're not going to try to fake and act like he's a tight end. Kyron Lacey getting a lot of reps early. Jare Jenkins, the steady guy who's back. Of course, Kayshon Boutte, as we know yesterday, a lot of talk about him. He's in a boot. Chris Hilton and Brian Thomas Jr., two guys that have a world of potential. Trust me, folks, LSU's loaded at wide receiver, and it will be interesting to see who the quarterback or two will be delivering the football to them this year.
Yeah, look, it's way early. I can come out here and say who I thought had the most velocity on the ball, but look, we got 15 to 20 minutes today. Very beginning, everybody's on pins and needles because it is the first day. But there's a lot more to come. They're going to be in full pads. It's as soon as you know it. And but we saw quarterbacks in red jerseys. So the red jerseys, no contact jerseys, are back, and they're pretty darn bright, by the way. And so we've got it all for you on TigerBait.com. Thanks to Bart, and we'll see you guys on the other side.